Hello students, we are meeting for our next lecture of UV visible spectroscopy. Under that we are discussing spectrophotometry, and in the last lecture we have seen the introduction, theoretical background and applications of Beer-Lambert's law. Now we'll see actually the instrumentation of spectrophotometry. Okay, so in this spectrophotometry you have different you can say parts on in this instrumentation. In that, first it starts with the uh, radiant source. Okay, so this is a radiant source means source of light. Then this light is passed further passed through filter. You can say filter, or you can say monochromator. Means, see, this source of light is a mixture of different wavelength. It's a uh, mixture of it's a mixture of different wavelength. Means what? Means this source produce the radiations or the light of different wavelength. Different wavelength means different color. The color of particular light depends on the lambda. If the radiant source is generating the light of only single lambda, then it becomes a monochromatic light, but which is not possible for a particular radiant source. So that's why all the different radiations which are coming out through the source are passed through filter or monochromator. Okay, now this monochromator further passed through the solvent, or you can say solution. Here I am using two different words, solvent or solution. Means, here while measuring the quantity, for what you are taking 0. Okay, for which solution or what color. Suppose your solution, for example, you are taking copper solution. Okay, it is blue in color. Okay, it is, if you add to the water to this copper, it will be blue. But if you add any other complexing agent, and suppose it is producing red color, so what is the zero? Zero absorbance will be for this blue. Okay, means not for blue, sorry. The zero absorbance is there when copper is not there, but the complexing agent is there. Okay, when complexing agent is present and solvent is present, then it is a zero absorbance. But when you start adding copper, then you will get the slowly the red color. That is the concept behind it. Okay, so what you have to do, when the analyte which is to be analyzed is absent, then that is called as blank solution. Okay, which is blank? When this analyte is absent. When analyte is absent, what will happen? The solution will be a blank solution, or you can treat it as a solvent. And when you add the analyte, it becomes a solution. So you have to, for marking 0, from which what is your starting point, for that you have to prepare this blank solution. Okay, so that's why two different words are used, so solvent or solution. And then further it is forwarded, these radiations which are coming out of solution are forwarded to detector, and this detector is connected to electronic circuit where your absorbance or transmittance or optical densities read out in the form of numbers. So this is the block diagram of spectrophotometry instrumentation. So as I told you, here there is source, there is a monochromator. These are the two different parts, whereas the detector and readout instrument are the also two different parts of this spectrophotometer instrument. So first we'll start with the radiation source. Now this radiation source should give you the radiation in the UV or visible range. For example, tungsten filament. Okay, so you must have seen this kind of bulb at home. Nowadays we are using LED bulb, but we in the old days, sorry, my diagram is not so good, my drawing is not so good, I'll draw it again. You must have seen this kind of bulb. Okay, okay, and here, sorry, here this bulb, sorry, here the bulb is like this. Okay, you must have seen such kind of, my drawing is not so good, you can understand. And here, why this pen is not working properly? Okay, I will draw it again. This kind of bulb you must have seen somewhere, that, okay, this glass bulb is there, and at the bottom this kind of series. So here there is a filament, you can see, and this is a tungsten filament, tungsten filament. Okay, this tungsten filament, when current is passed through this filament, it gives out the radiation in the visible range. But as the temperature rises, its amount of visible radiation goes on increasing than the your UV radiation. So you have to use the different sources which will give you UV as well as visible radiations. In that, mostly they are used hydrogen lamps, then deuterium lamps, then xenon lamps. No doubt these are having different, or you can say mercury lamp. So these are the different lamps which can be used. In hydrogen discharge lamp, hydrogen gas is stored under relatively high pressure. When an electric discharge is passed through the lamp, electron collides against hydrogen molecules, and this collision results in the formation of excited hydrogen molecule which emit UV radiation. Okay, means electric discharge is passed through the lamp, and already hydrogen gas is there, so hydrogen molecule get excited and emit UV radiation. Hydrogen lamps cover range between 120, see here this hydrogen, 120 to 530, 120 to 530, this range is covered by hydrogen lamp. In deuterium lamp, what happens? It is used in place of hydrogen. The intensity of radiation emitted is 3 to 5 times the intensity of hydrogen lamp. Means here for deuterium lamp the intensity is 3 to 5 times than your hydrogen lamp. Okay, in xenon lamp, xenon gas is stored in the bulb, and it possesses two tungsten electrodes separated by 8 millimeter distance. An intense arc is formed between two tungsten electrodes by applying low voltage. This results in production of UV. Means here two tungsten filaments are there which produce arc, and this arc produce the UV. This arc produce UV radiations. Okay. In mercury arc, the mercury vapor is stored under high pressure. When the electric discharge is passed through it, excited mercury atoms will be produced which emit UV radiation. It is the functioning is like hydrogen lamp only. Okay. So what are the requirements of the source? It must be stable. It must produce sufficient intensity of radiation so that transmitted intensity can be detected. It must supply continuous spectrum of radiation over the entire wavelength in which it is used. Okay. So you can control this radiant power, and intense and narrow beam of radiation is required in colorimetry and spectrophotometric analysis. For this purpose, mirror lenses and slits are used. The mirrors can be used to deflect the light, means you can change the path in the desired direction and extend the path length to beam inside the instrument. The lenses can be employed to get intense and parallel beam of light. The slits are of two types, entrance slit and exit slit. The window width of slit can be changed as per instrument. The slits control the amount of incoming and outgoing light, and the devices take the advantage of Beer-Lambert's law. Interference of light is avoided and sensitivity of measurement is increased. Okay, so this is, in this way you can control the radiant power. Okay, so here the source, very important thing, should give you radiation in UV or visible range. It should be stable. And another one is that it gives the sufficient intensity. That is very important, because if already light is with low intensity and if the absorption is more, then nothing will come out of the solution which can be transferred to the detector, so it cannot be detected. So the intensity of light should be more than the absorbance of the solution. So that are the requirement of the radiation source. Now we'll see in the next point filters and monochromators. I told you, when the source of light is there, this is source of light, okay, and this source generates the light of different wavelength. It gives you mixture. This lambda is different. Okay, so what happens here? When it gives a different wavelength, what happens if your solution is, say, red color? Okay, it is red color of different intensity. What happens? You should pass only red color light. Means here this statement is very crude. In another way, very technical language, if the solution, you have to find out the lambda max. Here you have to find out lambda max of the solution. Okay, and for example, if you take the example of, say, estimation of I will give you one example. Suppose estimation of chromium, where the lambda max is 545 nanometers. Means this source should, for example, here if you require 545, this is the lambda max, okay, of this solution for chromium. What will happen? This source should generate that 545 nanometer light, but which is not possible for a particular radiant source. What you have to do? You have to use filters and monochromators. These filters and monochromators will stop all the radiations. Only the lambda max radiation will be forwarded. Okay, so how these filters and monochromators work? For example, a light filter, we'll discuss one by one. Here first we'll start with the absorption filters. Here what happens? A light filter is a device that allows light of required wavelength to pass but absorb light of other wavelength wholly or partially. Means here in the absorption filter, what happens? Suppose if you take a green color transparent paper, what will happen? If you put it in front of the source, then all the light will be stopped, only green colored light will be transferred further. So that is a good filter, and that is a absorption filter. These filters, that means here absorption filters, they work by selective absorption and unwanted wavelength. Means here if you take a green colored paper, obviously other colored light will get absorbed, only green light will be passed further. Okay, so that is the absorption filter. For example, look at here, I have given you the suppose this is green colored glass plate. Okay, so this green colored, when polychromatic, means this region the source is producing the light waves, light radiations of wavelength 400 to 750 nanometer. What will happen? All the light are incidenting, or only the green light is with narrow band 500 to 560 nanometer is transferred or transmitted further, whereas the remaining light is blocked here only. So this will generate the monochromatic light. That is very important. Okay, and this which light is to be used? For that, as I told you, you should know the lambda max of the solution. Okay, so that can be find out. Then another filter is used, that is a interference filters. In this interference filter, you have these filters generally provide somewhat narrower bandwidth than the absorption type filters. Means compared to previous one, these produce narrow band. In order to prepare this filter, a semi-transparent metal film is deposited on the glass on the glass plate. Look at here. Okay, for example, this is glass plate. Okay, this is the semi-transparent material in the diagram. It means this film is coated with glass plate. Here also glass plate, here there is glass plate, and here there is glass plate. This is metal plate. Okay, this is metal plate, and they are semi-transparent material, and then it is coated with a thin layer of some dielectric transparent material. Here in between you can see here, this is dielectric transparent material which is act as a spacer. These filter work under the interference phenomena at the desired wavelength. Thus what happens here, uh, the part of the incident radiation is reflected repeatedly by semi-transparent metal film, but at each reflection some radiations are transmitted out. Outgoing radiations undergo constructive interference for those wavelengths which are exactly even multiples of the distance separating the two metal films. For the remaining wavelength, the radiation undergo destructive interference. Okay, thus corresponding energy is not passed out. By varying the distance between the metal film, the wavelength range can be changed. Means here this distance, you can see here, sorry, you can see here, this distance is very important, this distance. Okay, so whatever light is incident on here, this plate, what happens, they pass through, but after coming out, if this distance is multiple of this lambda, then what happens, only that light will form the constructive interference. Constructive means they don't destroy each other, so only this light will come out. Okay, whereas the other light will undergo destructive interference, means they will cancel each other and they will form the dark points. Means this dark point will not come. Now which light will form the constructive interference, means which light will come out, that depends on the distance. This distance is multiple of lambda, which is given by this formula that n lambda is equal to 2d sine theta. Means here theta is the, you can see here, this theta is the angle of incidence, okay, d is the distance here, and lambda is wavelength, n is the multiple of lambda, okay, and 2 is constant. So if this condition is fulfilled, n lambda is 2d sine theta, then only you will get the constructive interference. Otherwise you will get these dark points. Dark point means the light is get blocked in a way. In short, you can say this other light with different wavelength will get blocked. Only a particular range of light with particular range of lambda will be passed out. So this interference filter based on the interference of light. Now to understand what is interference of light, you must know the physics. Okay, in physics they discuss this constructive and destructive interference. Okay, that you have to, if at all you are interested to know what is interference, go to physics. Okay, you have to read it separately, and if you have any problem you can ask me, but right now I cannot spend time in discussing the what is interference. Now in short I can tell you, suppose this is one wave, okay, this is one wave, there is another wave like this, okay, if there is another wave, what happens if these two mix, what happens, all the point matches, means starting point here, here, peak point, all they are matched. So when they mixed with each other, what happens, their energies work in same direction, so the mixing of these two will produce this bigger wavelength, sorry, with same wavelength but more intensity, okay, same wavelength. But here what happens, if it is a another wave of this phase, for example, okay, so what happens here, these points are opposite, means here it is crust and trough, they are exactly opposite, so these direction they interact with each other, and the result is just a straight line, means a dark, no wave, dark point, okay. This is called as destructive interference, and this is called as constructive interference. That you will understand in detail when you read the optics chapter from physics, okay. So these filters here, just for our purpose we should know that these filters, that is interference filter, works on the principle of constructive and destructive interference. Then these are the two types of filter, means incident light is fault, and using some mechanism you filter out the required range of radiation. But there are some instruments or you can say things that you can use to filter out the light, and which will give you monochromatic light. They are called as monochromators. In that, first is prism. How prism works, this is the diagram. You can see here source, which is our source, okay. This source produce different wavelength, okay. Now what happens, this light is passed through some lens which will produce parallel radiations like this, they are parallel. When they incident on the prism, what happens, due to diffraction, okay, due to diffraction what happens, each light get diffracted in different direction, means for example this light wave with lambda 1 get diffracted here, lambda 2 here, like that, different, okay. So what happens, by keeping your this after this exit lens, okay, for example I will draw it here, here this is the prism, okay. When light comes out, this is one radiation, this is another radiation, this is third radiation. So all these radiations are monochromatic lights with different wavelength, means for this it may be red, and it will, for here it may be blue, means like your Vibgyor, okay, spectrum starting from violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Okay, so here starting from red it will go to uh, violet. It will go to violet. So these are get separated, and by putting your particular suppose if you want a red light, just block these radiations, and what you do, just block these radiations, only pass out the red. If you want violet, block this one and allow this only, and then let it fall on your solution. Okay, and then you will get the desired results. Means monochromatic light is produced or separate out by using monochromator, and one of the instrument is prism. You can understand how prism works, that answer is also in the physics. Okay, then next monochromator is diffraction grating. Diffraction grating is suitable dispersing element that can be isolated a selected band of wavelength. Okay, it is prepared by carefully ruling or etching, means such uneven surface is produced on by etching. A large number of parallel equidistant grooves are generated upon highly polished metallic surface like alumina. For example, they take a aluminum sheet, on that aluminum sheet such lines are produced. So what happens, nearly 15,000 to 30,000 lines per square inch are produced. Okay, now what happens when light incident on it, again here you can see this light is incident light and it is outcoming. So depending on when a polychromatic radiation is incident on the diffraction grating, what happens, the this equation, okay, n lambda is equal to d sine theta. Look at here, n lambda is equal to 2d sine theta, but here you have to take sine theta is equal to sine I plus sine r. Okay, now here what happens, when this equation is satisfied, when polychromatic radiation is incident on this diffraction grating, uh, the above equation can only be satisfied for the single wavelength at a time. Means suppose this light is there, okay, this is incident light which is forming incident angle I. So whatever is coming out, that is this radiation. Okay, means this incident light contain different lambda. Okay, but whatever is coming out, that is only single lambda. What happens to the rest of the lambda? They get diffracted in different direction, which get blocked here. Only one light is coming out. Why? Because it will satisfy this equation. Now depending on which light you want, you can change this I, go on changing, change I, you will get the particular radiation lambda. Okay, means here if you depending on your requirement, you can change the angle of incident on this diffraction grating. Again here also, if you want to know how it works, you can study it in physics. Okay, the details can be studied. Only the thing, with change of I, look at here, again I am repeating, with change of I means incident angle, you will get a particular radiation coming out with particular lambda, that is monochromatic light. Okay, so in this way, either using filters, absorption filter, interference filter, or you can use monochromators like prism or diffraction grating, you can achieve this target, that the source which is a polychromatic light source can be converted to this monochromatic light, monochromatic light using either filters. There are two types of filters, absorption and interference, or you can use monochromators like prism or diffraction grating. So these are the various ways by which you can achieve the source of monochromatic light. Okay, then next part or next uh, part of the instrumentation is cuvette or sample container. Cuvette means, here simple cuvette, I will draw it here. Cuvette is like this. It is a simple tube. Have you seen the test tube? In the test tube, this part is circular. In the cuvette, this is particularly straight. Okay, and this you can say container is very small, like a test tube, in which you are adding your sample solution. Okay, for which absorbance to be measured. Now there are some requirements which should be followed in regard to this cuvette. The cell holding the sample or solution should be transferred. Means this cuvette is called as it is also called as cell. This should be transparent to the wavelength region under study. Means suppose if you are using say visible region, then glass cuvettes will be sufficient. But if you are using UV region, okay, then you should use quartz, because quartz are the only substance which can pass the UV light. If you are using glass, then it won't be able to pass the UV light. So depending on your source, whether it is or not source, depending on your requirement of the experimentation, in which region you are working. If it is a visible region, then glass tubes will help, but if it is a UV region, then you have to use quartz tubes. Okay, so these cuvettes may be rectangular or cylindrical in shape. The internal distance or diameter of cuvette is generally 1 centimeter. This distance is normally kept as 1 centimeter. Okay, so it should not be more than that. This distance, as I told you, it matters a lot, okay, while in experimentation, because your basic law, Beer-Lambert's law, is A into B into C, where this B has to be constant and which should be smaller. If B is larger, what will happen? If B is larger, the absorbance will be more, the transmittance will be less, and it is not unable to be detected by detector. Okay, it is unable to be detected by detector. Okay, so that is very important. Okay, so here that's why the length of this tube is kept 1 centimeter only. Okay, so these are the some points that you should know very clearly. Okay, now our video is too large. Again, we'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you.